All right. Are you prepared for any type of medical or evacuation emergency? Well, if not, this is the week for you. Today is day one of the Emergency Medical Folder Challenge. This is the free challenge happening right now with me, Susanna Kay, over in the home organizing group and by email. So if you've not already registered, make sure to register. You can register, you can find all of the links for everything that I talk about today, all the replay videos, all the good stuff will be on our challenge schedule page. Don't worry, I've posted this link in the comments and in the description, and I'll show this again later on. But today is day one. Welcome, welcome. I'm super excited. This is one of my favorite challenges. Everybody always loves this one, which is what makes me so excited because having people prepared for anything that could come up, especially in this day and age, is huge. It just excites me. So, like I mentioned, today is day one. We are talking about supplies. We're talking about what the emergency medical folder is for, how it works, how you'll use it, and what to expect from the challenge this week. So, really quickly, I wanted to say, hey, I see RJ is here from Ohio. As you hop on, let me know who you are, where you're joining me from. Also, tell me if you already have an emergency folder set up or if this is your first time. I see Eloise is here from Texas City. She says that she's so glad to be here. Thanks in advance because I always get useful tips from you. Aw, I'm so glad. Thank you, Eloise. Well, I'm glad that you're here too. Rita's here from Pennsylvania. Welcome, welcome. All right, so let's dive in. I'll say hi to everybody in between the different points that I wanted to go over. But first thing that I wanted to talk about was how to use the emergency medical folder. So, what is going on this week? What is it? Why do you care? Right? So, the emergency medical folder, this is what we will be building this week. All right. I will give you free worksheets that you can download, print out, fill in to create your own emergency medical folder. So, I've done a lot of the hard work for you already. But the emergency medical folder is a quick grab folder. I like to do it in some durable plastic, bright red, easy to see, but it will have all of the information for all of the people in your household. And it will have their emergency medical information, a lot of their basic medical information that you would take with you to a doctor's office, and also some information for if you had to evacuate or if there's an emergency in the home. So the ways that you would use your emergency medical folder, the most common way that you will find that you'll use it will be for doctor's appointments. If you need to go to the doctor, this is great to grab, take with you. It's got all the information right there, and it just makes doctor's appointments so much easier. Another way that you will use it, hopefully you'll never have to use it this way, but to be prepared is if you have to go to the hospital or if there's an emergency evacuation. So, or if first responders have to come into your home and you're not able to communicate. So those are three other ways, and those are the really important ways to make sure that this is set up, that this is really useful for, because we want to make sure that we're protected in case of a severe emergency, even though I hope that you never have one. So I hope that you only ever use this for doctor's appointments, right? But that's basically what you would use the emergency medical folder for. And we'll go through what's in it really quickly today as well. So you'll get a good overview of it. Now, really quickly, before we go into the emergency medical folder, wanted to say, hey, I see Julie's here. Welcome. And BT and Barbara's here. Welcome. Juanita in cold Michigan. Liz has joined in, and Pat, welcome, welcome. I see Kathy and Brenda and Rosemary are also here, and Ta and Pam. Wow, we've got a bunch of familiar faces and some new ones. I absolutely love it, love it, love it. So if you have any questions as we go along, please, in the comments, go ahead and ask your questions if you're on the replay or the live. I will try to, even on the replay, I'll hop in and answer questions as much as I can. Okay, so how to use the emergency medical folder. Really quickly, let me also put on the screen again. This is where you can find the challenge schedule page. So the challenge schedule page will be where you can register for the challenge. It will have links to suggested supplies and a printable supply list. It'll have the worksheet downloads, links to each day's live events and replays, and the schedule of what to expect, and all the various things that I talk about. So you'll want to write down this link or copy it from your description of this video or the comments to make sure that you can access this page, because it's kind of like this is the brains of the operation. So the challenge schedule page is the place to go. So within the emergency medical folder, I'm going to give you a quick tour before I talk about the different supplies that you'll need, and then I'll wrap up with what to expect this week. What else is going on? Sound good? Awesome. So the emergency medical folder, as you see, I like to make it a bright colored folder so it's easy for first responders to find, or you if you have to run out the door. But within the folder, this is actually one small section from the full Spark Life binder. Now, the Spark Life binder is the binder for all of your important information and papers in your life. So this is just the emergency section of it, which I'm giving you for free. So it has the same types of worksheets as is in each of the 10 sections of the Spark Life binder. So the first page is a checklist. So you can see what things you will need to grab in order to fill in or add to your folder. And then it also has some ideas of other things that you can include in your medical folder. So this is a really good checklist. I usually just stick it right in the front. Then I'll talk about the supplies portion next, but there are various pages and you just fill in the blanks. So these worksheets, you're just answering the questions. You don't have to think about what information you need to include. It's all there. Now, these are all fillable PDFs also. So when you download this and you open it up in your PDF program, like Adobe Reader or something, then you can type into this, or you could just print it out and handwrite it. Completely up to you. On that challenge schedule page, you'll see the link to download it. If you're getting the emails, that's where most of the information is going to be in your inbox. Then you'll also have the link emailed to you. So on the first page, this is where I list any life-threatening allergies. And I do one of these pages per person. Each person in the household, I just print another pack for. And there's a divider for each person. But any life-threatening allergies, sometimes what I like to do is actually, if anybody has any life-threatening allergies, I put it even in front of the checklist. But that's completely up to you. So you're going to list life-threatening allergies. Then you have some emergency instruction pages. These include things such as where some of the most important vital documents are, like a healthcare surrogate form or any essential medical documents, your health insurance information, your basic name and address, organ donor. Are you an organ donor? What are the limitations? What's your blood type? Local and family emergency contacts. Other important information. So all of the urgent stuff that the first responders would need would be on this first page. Then we go into the regular allergies and conditions. These are the non-life-threatening ones. And we also list out, you can type in medication information for all of your prescriptions. If you wanted to on these pages later this week, I'll show you a shortcut that I like to do instead of manually filling them in. But this is here as an option for you. And this is another prescription page. Then there's vaccine information for any vaccines that you may have had. And then there's home emergency information. So this would include the police non-emergency line, sheriff's office's non-emergency, fire department, ambulance EMS, landlord's information, your alarm company, any emergency locations in your home, such as where the circuit breakers, the fuse box, fire extinguishers, water valve shut off, any other things that you or your family members or caregivers that are in the home should know about. And then any special considerations, such as, are there pets in the home, where if you're incapacitated, somebody would need to watch out for the pets, anything like that. And then there's a notes page. So I print out one packet like that per person, and I place it in the emergency medical folder behind a divider for that person with that person's name. Like I mentioned, throughout the week, I'll give you some more tips about how to make this even easier, and things like entering the prescriptions easily and how we're going to use some of these various pages. But that's your quick overview. So you have most of what you would need at the tips of your fingers. Now, not only do you have what you need, but your loved ones would have everything that they would need if they had to bring you to the hospital, or vice versa. If you had to bring them to the hospital, you got their information. And if for some reason first responders did have to come to your home and you or your loved ones were not able to communicate, then the most important information is right here for them. And I'll share stories this week also about how this has been really useful for people in that situation. But This way, you won't forget anything really important. You won't forget to tell them, and they'll know exactly how best to care for you. So that is the basics of the emergency medical folder. Hopefully that cleared it up for you a little bit about what our goal is, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments if you want to comment. Next, I'll talk about the supplies, and then we'll wrap up with what to expect this week. But if you're not already registered, make sure to register, because the email is where I will be sharing the downloaded worksheet pages, extra bonuses, all the information, all that good stuff. But I see a bunch of people have hopped on. Wanted to say, hey, really quick, I won't say all the names. It starts to sound like Romper Room or something sometimes, but I wanted to say hey to everybody who's here. Beverly says, will you put the link in the comments? So in the YouTube comments, I already have the link for the, what is it called? Schedule page for the challenge. In Facebook, it's in the description. I don't think that it's going to show up if I paste it in the comments for Facebook. For some reason, Facebook does not play as nicely. So I can't just post it into the comments while I'm live. What I will try to do, though, I will try to post it in the comments afterwards. Sound like a fair deal? So that way you'll have something clickable. But right now it's clickable in the description of the video on both YouTube and Facebook, and in the Facebook comments. And yes, and Beverly says, but everything is in the email. Yes, everything is also in the email. That page is just kind of a one-stop shop to make it nice and easy. And that page link is also in the email. I'm sorry, Lori says that she had a hard time finding the live. The live link is always the same. So it's always that current live. And if you're getting the text reminders, then I also always share the live link there. Usually you can also find it on the website. This week is the only week that I've got that changed out on the top of the website. Hopefully that helps though. The emails do also have the link in it. So if you're registered for the challenge, at the bottom of each email, there's a link to the current live session. So hopefully that helps. I try to list it in as many places as I think that you could possibly find it. Jane says, the packet I printed didn't have the pages after vaccines. Double check to make sure that you've got the right one downloaded. So on that schedule page, click that download again and make sure that you've got the right copy. And if you still don't, then please shoot me an email. My email address is hello@susannak.com. I'll actually type that here on the screen. I can type. I can't type and talk, it seems. But if you need anything at all throughout this week, hello@susannak.com is your place to email me. And then myself or Stephanie or Gelby will make sure to get your question answered. Sound good? And so hopefully that helps you, Jane. And Bonnie says, but how do the first responders even know to look for this folder if I live alone and am unconscious or unable to move or talk? That's a great question, and we will cover that this week. The short answer is I'm going to be explaining how to put a notice on your freezer or refrigerator door, because that's where they automatically know to look in most areas. But I will go more in depth this week during the lives, and I believe also I mentioned it in the emails. So I will go more into that, but that's a great question. Darlene. Darlene says, the hello beautiful, is that your handwriting on the sign-in shirt? I wish. No, sadly, it's just a beautiful font I found. Great question. All right, how many pages are in the packet? I got 11. You know what? I don't know off the top of my head, but I could probably find out pretty quickly because I already have the schedule page opened, I believe. Let's see. Oh, nope, I don't have it on me. I'm not positive. 11 sounds about right though. As long as you have the pages that I listed just then you should be good with the home emergency, vaccines, prescription pages, all that good stuff. So if you have any worries about it, just check out the download again or shoot me an email. So Rosemary says the reason the pages weren't included in the earlier version was it was version 6 and not version 7. There you go. So if you do have an older version, at the bottom, it's very hard to see, it's tiny, but at the very bottom of your printed pages, if it says V7, then you got the most current version. So that's a good one. And Liz says, yep, it's 11 pages. Thank you, Liz. Beverly also has 11, and so does Kathy. Yay. Thank you all. I love how you guys help each other out. You just make me so happy. All right. So I mentioned what the emergency folder is and how you would use it, right? Next, let's talk about some supplies. Also on that schedule page, I have a link to my downloadable or printable, supply list. So I've got this, it's free. You can check it out, print it out if you want to, or download it, up to you. But there's a link to the printable supply list there. And also, I will share in the description my favorite things store. You can also get to this through my website, susannak.com. But in the description is a link to the favorite things store. And that's another spot that you can go to see exactly the supplies that I love to use. So there's links if you wanted to buy things on Amazon or wherever, or even if you just want to check out exactly what the specifications are of the things that I talk about, that's the place to go. So the supplies that are really useful to have for your emergency folder. First off, you're going to need a folder to put it in. I prefer to have a bright colored, usually red, plastic 3-prong folder. So the 3-prong are the ones with those bendy prongs that you probably remember from school when they bend over. But I like plastic because that way it can take a beating. It's going to last longer. You don't have to worry about it if you're keeping it in the kitchen or something. We'll talk this week about where to keep it and how to keep it safe and all that good stuff. But I really like it to be pretty solid. So invest a decent amount of money in the folder that you buy. The rest does not matter. You can buy the cheaper qualities and it'll still work. I do 1 divider per person. You can either get dividers or you could just use like the little Post-it tabs and stick that on the page and write the person's name on it. Completely up to you. They both work just as well. Now, I have not been able to find these dividers. Again, this has got the pocket in it. If you can find a pocket divider, there's this type. There are some that have the kind of the pockets that lay across. I like the ones that close up because that way, even if you hold it upside down, nothing's going to fall out, which is handy in an emergency. So if you can find dividers that have the pocket, closable pocket with it, that's preferred. If not, that is okay. Because one of the other things that I always like to add is an actual 3-ring pocket. So you could add the 3-ring pocket to each person's section or just one in the back, your choice. But the reason I like these pockets is the trick I will share later this week is using those prescription summaries to keep track of all the prescription information. And it's nice and easy in one of these pockets. I also like to keep a picture of the person in front of their section. You can tape it onto the front of your divider, or you can put it in a clear pocket, whatever you prefer. But that way, first responders know which person they're dealing with from the household. So if you happen to have 2 girls' names on dividers, they might not know right away which one they're looking at. So dividers, 1 per person in the household, super helpful. Of course, printer paper, so you can print it out because this one is just a download. The Spark Life Binder, we just launched the print version where you can get that mailed to you. We don't have this for this one. It comes with the printed Spark Life Binder if you buy the Life Binder, but for this challenge, this is just a download. Sheet protectors are optional. I know a lot of people like to have sheet protectors. I prefer not to because I like to be able to update things easily and not pull things in and out of sheet protectors, but that's up to you. Also, one of the things that I like to have is a business card holder. So that would look like this. One of these it's like a sheet protector, but it holds business cards. Great way to quickly add in doctor information. And I usually keep a couple of them for each doctor in the slots. That way, when I'm actually at the doctor's office, if they need to know information about other doctors that I go to, I can hand them the card. So that's helpful. Some other things that you might find useful, maybe a USB drive, because that way you can store the downloaded file for your worksheets. If you're typing into it, if you want to be able to reprint it, you could store it and keep it right with that. What else? Label for the front. If you want to, you can label the front, completely up to you. And I like to make sure to have a home safe or a fireproof box somewhere to keep any original documents secure. So those are sort of my go-to supplies for the emergency folder. As I mentioned in the favorite things link on the screen, I have my supplies that I prefer linked right there for you, or you can get that supply list from the schedule page. hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any questions about the supplies that you will need, but make this your own. There's no required way to set this up as long as it works for you. That makes me happy. Yep. Okay. So Jane said that she did have version 6. Yep. So the download link on the challenge schedule page or in the emails will have version 7. Terry asked, started a little late. Will these sessions be able to be viewed later? I'll have to miss one this week. Absolutely. Yes, they will. So on that challenge schedule page, I'll put the link up again in a minute, but it's in the description. All of the replays will also be on that page for the full week of the challenge. So just make sure to try to watch it during the challenge because eventually that schedule page will come down. Darlene, are the pages able to be filled out on the computer and printed or handwritten only? You can fill them out on the computer and print them out. And I think either day 2 or day 3 live, I'm talking about how to do that, how to type into the PDF and print it out. But yes, it's a fillable PDF. Liz says, can I use a 1/2-inch binder? You can if you want to. It's just personal preference. So if you prefer the 1/2-inch binder, definitely go for it. Make it your own. I love it. Okay, RJ found pocket dividers on Amazon. Yay, they have some more in stock. That's happy. Peg, the C-line 5-tab binder pockets with right-on index tabs. Oh, thank you so much. She just listed, so if you search for that, C-line 5-tab binder pockets, I bet those will come up. Thank you, Peg. That's wonderful. Darlene asks, in the folder, is there a place to put children's friends' phone numbers and addresses? There aren't any fillable fields for that specifically, but on the last page, and you can print out multiple pages of the notes page or save some separate note pages if you're typing into it. That's why I have this full page for notes, because whatever your unique situation is, you might have other stuff that would not be the same for the general public, but it's really helpful to have. So you can type into this notes page to add all of your children's friends' phone numbers and addresses, because that is really useful if you've got kids, for sure. Rita says, this is so smart. Love these tips. I'm still learning, even though I've watched these in the past. Yay. Oh, I'm so glad. Hopefully I'm getting better at explaining it too. You'll have to let me know if I've progressed at all. So Rita says, if you use the links that Susanna has shared, I believe she gets credit if you purchase. So if you use the links in the favorite things store, there are some of them that I did mark that are affiliate. So whenever there's a link where I get credit for you purchasing, I do make sure to include it on the page and let you know that as well. It never changes how much you pay. It would just be, I get a credit, I get a small commission for some things. But whenever you're on a shop page for me, then I do try to make sure to list it out. So yes, and it's how I help keep the lights on and how I help keep sharing things. Thank you, Rita, for sharing that and pointing that out, because it does help me out a lot. It really does. Jane says, what if you have a Spark Life binder that you printed, but would like a printed one sent to you? Well, Jane, that is a perfect question. I will be sending out an email tomorrow, I believe, to everybody who owns the Spark Life binder already with a special lower price offer for you if you wanted to have a printed one sent to you. So double check your email tomorrow evening, Tuesday evening. I will send that out to everybody who already owns the Spark Life binder, because I know how I am. I like to have printed and digital as well. So good question. Let's see. Yes. So Lori, thank you so much. And that reminded me, I wanted to tell you, she says in the email from this morning, day 1 at 6 a.m., Monday, the 10th of January, under the day 1 task, when you click to check out the schedule page, it opened the emergency medical folder download instead, not the schedule. That was, there's so much that goes on to setting these things up that, yes, that was an error. And in the replay link that I'll send out later today for this video, we have the corrected link for you. So I'm so sorry about that. That was one error that we made just because we were setting up so much stuff and we completely missed it. But thank you for pointing that out for people. Yay, Jane says she ordered supplies today and she's excited to get them. That's awesome. So Lavette says, I purchased the Spark Life binder in the past. Will I receive a printed copy by mail? No, the printed copy is separate. So watch your email tomorrow when I send out the emails to everybody who already owns a Spark Life binder. Then I'll explain everything in there. But no, the printed copy is completely separate because it's a whole separate product and a huge cost for us to produce. So you won't automatically receive a printed copy by mail. No. You're so welcome, Demetria. Absolutely. Peg says, where is the version 7 PDF? When you click on the download link for the worksheets, that will be version 7. So on the schedule page or in your email, that will be your current version. Thank you, Lavette. I appreciate it. She said she likes my Hello Beautiful. And let's see, Rosemary says, don't forget to save any changes you make to the PDF so you can go back to the forums. Absolutely. And when I talk, I think either day 2 or day 3, I'm talking about how to use the fillable PDFs. I'll share how to make sure to download them and save them so that all of the things that you type in actually show up and save, because it's no fun to type it all in and then lose it, right? Yep, you're so welcome. Yeah, Liz had the same problem as Lori. Oh, Diane says that her name shows as Paul Davis. It should say Diane. Good to see you. Peg says, are there big differences between version 6 and version 7? There are some big differences. I added some more pages, such as the vaccinations page and the home emergency pages. But if you already have version 6 filled out, you can either just stick with version 6 because I don't think that there's anything earth-shatteringly different, or you could also open version 7 and just print off the few pages that are different and do that. So I try to keep it so that way it's easy to update if you already have it. Beverly asks, do I have the business card holder in the supplies list? I believe so. Let me know. You can always shoot me an email if you don't see it, but it should be in that favorite things list, or also on that printable supply list that has that link as well. Okay, Lori says that she bought the Spark Life Binder download version in either 2015 or 16. She has the pages for the entire binder pages changed. I don't recall ever getting updates. So they've not changed to a point where it's urgent for you to change your whole binder. That's the short answer. But there have been some updates. Whenever we update it, I email the updated version to everybody who already owns it. And I load it into your online library. So the online library always has the most current version available and old versions if you wanted to work off the older version. And you get an email. So make sure that you're getting my emails to if you missed out on that. There are some changes, but there's nothing so significant that you have to update it. That's just if you want to. So in your online library, you can download the newest version anytime. Hopefully that helps. That's the nice thing about the digital version, is you always have access to the most up-to-date versus a printed where it, if we update, then usually you can't get the printed version. Joanna says, thanks for the questions about the printed copies of the Spark Life Binder. I had the same question. We'll look for the email tomorrow. Great. That's wonderful. Darlene says, yes. Yay. Jane, you're making this so easy, as this can be overwhelming. Right? It's so important, as I live by myself. My children live in different states. In case something happens to me, I want them to have it easy. And that's my goal. I know me, I'm busy. If it's not easy, then I won't do it. But it's so important that I want this to be easy for you. So I'm glad that this is so easy for you. Yay. Peg says, will you be sending out version 7 of the emergency medical folder? It was already in the day 1 task. So that version 7 of the emergency medical folder is already in your email from this morning. It's also on that challenge schedule page that's in the description. So Peg says, to Spark Life Binder owners, I will be in the email. I will also be reminding you that the updates are always in your online library. Yeah, Lori says, thanks. I need to check my online library. So you'll get a reminder in that email to check your online library for the new versions of everything. So you'll have the latest and greatest, and I'll tell you what's changed, what hasn't. This latest update is not a huge update. So whenever I do a big update, I do a, big special email and make it a big deal. This one's a smaller one, so I'll do an email that's combined with the print information. Hopefully that helps. All right, so really quickly, before I answer some more of the questions, I wanted to let you know what to expect from this week, because, there's a whole lot going on. So this week, you're already on day 1. This is the live. You're already here. So day 2 of the challenge this week, there will be another live at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and you will get your email every day this week. And Monday through Sunday, you will get an email first thing in the morning. It goes out at 6 a.m. Eastern time, but it's an email. You don't have to be up at 6 a.m. if you don't want to. And then at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Remember, this is on the challenge schedule page. Let me add that banner for you again. There you go. It's at that link. You can see all of this there as well. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, I will be live at 1 p.m. Eastern time, just like this, at that same link. All the links are on that page, going over different aspects of building your emergency medical folder, with the goal being by the end of the week, you've got it not only built, but filled in. You know where to store it. You know how to keep it safe. You know how to let emergency responders and loved ones know where it is in case you need it. You know how to keep it updated. You'll have everything settled. That's the goal. Now, on Thursday and Saturday, you'll notice there is no 1 p.m. live. Instead, on Thursday and Saturday, I have the Important Papers Workshop. It's the free 1-hour webinar. And I can put that on your screen, but it's also, the link is on the schedule page. It's a 1-hour webinar talking about how to build your own Spark Life Binder. Whether you want to buy the Spark Life Binder, which is only available for sale this week. After this week, the Spark Life Binder, you won't be able to purchase it. But during the Important Papers Workshop, I'll explain more about the Spark Life Binder, tell you all about that, but primarily tell you about how it works. And if you wanted to build your own from scratch, I'll give you exactly how to do that as well. So we go over all of the information about how to build an Important Papers binder of your own. So it's primarily educational. You will also have a chance, if you want the easy button, to grab a Spark Life binder that's already done for you. But Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern and Saturday at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern are the 3 times that you can join me for the Important Papers Workshop. And the replay will be available afterwards for everybody who's registered. For 4 days afterwards, you'll be able to watch the replay. And then that one goes away as well. That's not one that you can buy a replay in the shop afterwards. Once it's done, it's done. So make sure on Thursday and Saturday, instead of watching the live at 1 here, join me for the workshop, because it's going to give you a ton of information. So that's the main thing. Those are the main things going on this week. Like I mentioned, the schedule page is the page to go to for a recap of everything that I just shared with you. It also has a link to download the worksheets, the link to the printable supply list. It has every link that I talk about during the lives, the link to register for the Important Paper workshops, the dates and times for those. I think everything. So that's your one-stop shop. Let's see. Let's answer some more questions. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. Oh, Jane says that she found the version 7 of the emergency medical folder in her email this morning. Yay. And Beverly says, are these daily challenge sessions at 1 p.m. Eastern time? Yes, they are. I do try to stick with everything listed in Eastern time. So, if you're Central, then that would be 12. Adjust from that there. Yeah. So somebody asked, I was late registering. Will I get today's email? You won't get today's email sent to you. You will get the replay email. So you'll get everything from the point that you registered on. That's why I have that challenge schedule page as well, because that way you have the links to the replays, and I will be adding in links to the Facebook group where there are the daily tasks posted in more of a summarized form. So I'm going to try to make sure that even if you register late, that you have everything that you need. It just won't come to you with the email. So hopefully that helps. Oh, Terry, Sunday, it says Saturday. Sunday is the 1 p.m. live for the challenge. I'm sorry. Again, there were so many emails that I wrote. So it is Sunday would be the 1 p.m. for the challenge live. Saturday at 1 p.m. is the Important Papers Workshop. Both of them are free. So hopefully you can join me for both of them. Rosemary says, thank you for all of your support and your excellent forms that make our lives easier and complete. Yay, you're so welcome. Teresa says, the Spark Life Binder is worth every penny. Buy it. Thank you so much, Teresa. I'm glad that you enjoy it. I know that it's made such a huge difference in my life. It's absolutely wonderful. So thank you. Thank you. Beverly, this has been a great session. Thanks. You're so welcome. Bonnie asks, are the important papers workshops on Thursday and Saturday at the same time or different content each day? It's the same webinar, so you only need to register for one of them. All three of them will be the same information. Rita says, Susanna, can you please confirm or suggest that we do a separate red folder for each family member? You know, it depends on your family and your needs. I actually like to put all family members in one. So that way, if I'm in a hurry and I'm evacuating or running to the hospital, I don't want to accidentally grab the wrong folder. So I like to have, we only have 3 people in our household though, but I like to have one folder and then I just use the dividers. Each person has a divider and I print 1 packet per person and just put it behind the divider. Now, if you prefer to have a different folder for each person, you absolutely can. That's just a personal choice, and either way is good. Peg says, will you be posting a black and white version 7 of the Spark Life Binder? I only see color. Yes, in your online library, there should be the link for the black and white as well. If you don't see it there, I know that Stephanie made sure that it was up to date with version 7 in the online library, but if you don't see it, shoot me an email. Just email me at the hello@Susanna K, and I can make sure to direct you to the right place for that or send you that. So hopefully that helps. RJ says, don't forget a folder for pets. Yes, we have all the pet information is in the Spark Life Binder. They have all of their information in a section of their own, of course, within the Spark Life Binder. And then in the emergency folder on the last page, I believe it is, of the packet, it lists, you know, the pets in the home, local contact that can care for the pet, and other special concerns. And you can list information on the notes page as well if you wanted pet information. And we talk about some of the things to include in your emergency folder tomorrow. One of the things that I do like to include in that pocket, that 3-ring pocket in your binder that I talked about, is vaccination certificates for all of the pets. So that way, if you did have to go to a shelter or something, you've got the recent vaccine certificates. So that's, that's a thing that I like to make sure to include in the medical folder for the pets, because you're right. Don't forget the pets. Okay, someone says, I'm confused. Are there 2 different seminars going on this week? One for the emergency medical one and one for something else, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, something. Please clarify. Yes, I'm so sorry for confusing you. Okay, so there are 2 things. This week is the emergency medical folder. The emergency medical folder is one part of the Spark Life Binder. So the Spark Life Binder looks kind of like this. This is my home printed version. So the printed version that you purchase will have a different folder than this, because this one is actually looks nice, but it's flimsy. I would never want to sell it. But the Spark Life Binder is what we talk about how to set up your own. And you have also, if you wanted to buy the Spark Life Binder, you could, but we talk about how to set up and use your own important papers binder during the important papers workshop. So if you want to learn about setting up a full papers binder for everything, not just medical and emergencies, but all the information in your life, then that is on Thursday and Saturday. It's called the Important Papers Workshop. So that one, you'll register for that workshop Thursday and Saturday. All 3 of those dates and times are the same workshop. It's just trying to make it easy for you. And that's where you'll learn about the full Spark Life Binder, which comes with the emergency medical folder. This is one part of it. Now, this week, what's going on the other days? So full binder information, building that Thursday and Saturday. Every other day at 1 p.m. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. That's the 1 p.m. And we're talking about just the emergency medical folder. That's what we're building together this week for free. And that's what you have the free download for, those worksheets. Hopefully that clarifies. I try not to get too confusing, but sometimes in my head, I understand it, but my mouth does not explain it well. All right, Lori says, will any of the live sessions allow time to start filling out pages, or are you just explaining what to include in it? It's not like the accountability sessions, like the group hikes, so we're not going to be working side by side on it, but I will be talking about what to include in it, tips to make it easier to fill out the pages, and giving you some ideas about the best way to get them filled out quickly. There aren't a lot of pages, and a lot of what's in here, you know, off the top of your head, so there's not even a lot of research needed. So that's why we're not going to do an actual full-on accountability session like the group hikes, which is probably what you remember. I know that you've been to some group hikes. So hopefully that answers your question. Yay, Terry says I found the updated schedule. Thank you. You're so welcome. I'm absolutely glad to help. Well, hopefully this gave you a good overview of what the emergency medical folder is. So you can grab this, take this with you to doctor's appointments, if you have to go to the hospital, if you need to evacuate, if first responders come and you're not able to communicate, that's what your emergency medical folder is. It's that actual emergencies, primarily medical emergencies, all of your information in one spot for you and your family members in your household. That's what we're building this week. I talked about the supplies. So check out the favorite things link and the supplies list, the printable supplies list, whatever. Grab the supplies. That way you can build your folder this week. And I talked about the upcoming expectations for the week. And that is all at, let me put that on the screen now again. And this, remember, this link for the challenge schedule is in the description of this video as well. But it's at suzannek.live/challenge-schedule. And that's where you can find the full schedule. It explains everything better than my silly little, trying to explain it with my voice. It does not always work out. So the schedule page is the place to go. Lady says that she loves the hikes, those accountability sessions. That's awesome. Yes, the group hikes are something that's only available to Paper Path members. And also there's a bonus of some of the hikes. I'm going to throw in a chance to attend some of the hikes when you grab the Spark Life Binder this week. So if you did want to buy the Spark Life Binder this week, then you can actually get in on some of the hikes, which is awesome. So Karen, I just answered about the updated, I can't speak, schedule. Darlene, when you fill out stuff for school and or other things for kids, do you recommend a copy go in the emergency medical folder? No, not necessarily. This would just be like, think about if you would go to a shelter or hospital. That's the information that would go in here. Everything else goes in here. So all of your life stuff, all the important stuff goes into the Spark Life Binder. This is just what you would carry with you to the hospital or if you had to go to an emergency shelter. Other than that, just in the main Spark Life Binder. Lori says, are you doing the Thursday live home organizing session at 11 and the Paper Path session at noon this week? I am doing the 11 o'clock one still this Thursday. That is correct. The Paper Path one I am not doing this week at noon. I actually have, sadly, my little puppy has an important vet appointment with a specialist that took us a month to get into. And the only time they had was at like 12:30 p.m. So I won't be able to do the Paper Path session this week, but I will be there at 11 a.m. this week on Thursday in the Facebook group. Yes, you're so welcome. Absolutely. Well, hopefully you're excited about this week. I know I am. Let me know in the comments. Tell me, do you already have an emergency folder or is this your first time setting one up? I would love to hear if you're doing a touch-up of your emergency folder or if this is going to be something brand new for you in your life. And make sure to check out tomorrow, day 2 at 1 p.m. Eastern time, same place, same time. We are talking about making sure that you've got those free worksheets, the correct version, all downloaded and printed out, and what to include in your emergency medical folder. So what information to include and what not to include to make sure to keep it safe. You'll notice that there are some things in that are not in this folder because I want to make sure that your information stays secure. So what to include, what not to include, free worksheets, all of that good stuff happening tomorrow. All right. And final comments. Oh, Darlene says, the specialist, is the puppy okay? Hopefully she is. I'll have to let you know on Friday. I'll find out more, but she seems happy enough. That's the good thing, right? Joyce says, what did you just show? The folder? Yep, I just showed the emergency medical folder. That's it. Darlene says that hers will be a new physical folder to grab quickly. Yay, that's awesome. Rita, it's her first time setting it up, even though she's participated in past webinars. Yay, I'm glad that you're setting it up. That's awesome. Beverly has a folder that she takes to doctor's appointments, but this work packet is more thorough. Yay. That's one thing that I love. I'm like all about being thorough. Lori's going to replace her old version of the emergency folder with the new version and start filling it out. Ladies finally getting started, she says. Joy says, where do we get this? I'll share the link again. It's on the challenge schedule page, and you'll want to make sure to register for the challenge. And that challenge schedule page, the link is also in the description of this video. Rosemary's doing a touch up. Jane started her medical stuff, but life got in the way. Amen. I know how that is. Sue says, she's late checking in. She started the emergency folder, but she needs to complete it. Well, this is the perfect week for that. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're here. All right. So there is the link to the challenge schedule page again with everything that you need. Make sure that you're registered so you get the emails every morning as well. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'm so excited, and this is going to be a great week. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions as we go. You can always email me at hello@susannak.com, and your one-stop shop is that challenge schedule page. I look forward to seeing you later. I love you, and you're going to do amazing. You got this, beautiful. Bye.